And now, your host of Keys and TDs Live, Abby Wasserman Orchide.
Well, hello, everybody. Happy Wednesday night. Happy September 10th. Happy football season. Welcome to Keys and TDs Live. I am so happy to be with you. Hopefully, everything is working. I am going to be bringing on stage a couple of my very close friends, one of them a little bit closer than the other, only in proximity, really, because he lives about 5 hours away from me. And he introduced me to one of my favorite foods. I'll let him tell you a little bit more about that later. It's one of his favorite stories to tell, and really one of his favorite places to introduce everybody to. Let me bring them both on stage. They are from OnSight PROS. We have got Phil Owen and Mike Williams, ladies and gentlemen.
I think that's
Give them a little bit of
that's
applause.
that's 1-0 Phil Owen. Just to be clear about that.
We are trash talking already.
Yeah.
It is starting.
I'm
It is
1-0.
starting already. Okay. Okay, but is that in the sleeper league or is that in your guys' personal league? Because I think you guys.
Yes is the answer for
Yeah.
me. Yes
Yeah.
is the answer.
Okay.
I'm in
Yes
so
is
many
the
leagues, it's
answer.
impossible for me to be 1-0. I'm in 8 leagues.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, all right. Well, tell me a little bit. Well, I make sure that we are live on my personal Facebook. We are live on the PM Assist Facebook right now. Tell me a little bit about both of you. Let's start with Mike because he gets to go first this time, Phil, because he knows football better than you know football. You're a volunteer, but Mike actually played football all the way up until high school, right? You were a quarterback.
I played in
Tell
high
us a little
school.
bit
Yeah.
about that. You played in high school. Tell us a little bit
Yeah.
about that.
It was a lot. Yeah.
It was a lot. Okay. Maybe I need to
Play.
remind.
He's
Maybe-
slow playing this, y'all. The dude played semi-pro ball. Like this guy's coached college football.
Look at that.
Oh dang!
Maybe I
Somebody
need
did
to
their
remind
homework.
Mike.
That's more
I did do my
down,
homework.
Bengals right there.
Somebody
Yeah.
did their homework.
Oh, look at
Maybe
that.
that one. That one.
You know what's funny about that picture is I'm not as young as you think I am there.
What age was that, Mike?
I think that's 7th grade. Yeah.
Big Mike, 7th grade.
Yeah, that was 7th grade.
7th grade. Phil, what makes you qualified to talk about football besides being a Tennessee fan? Anything besides that?
So I'm going to say this. Mike is a semi-professional football player. He has coached at the college level at multiple schools. He's coached at the high school level. And I am 1-0 against Mike in our personal league. And I think that means that I'm qualified to have this conversation.
Absolutely.
My qualification is just completely coattailing on his qualifications and saying that I beat him. That is why I'm qualified to be here.
He whooped me.
Yeah. Well, it wasn't close. Yeah.
Yeah.
Whooped. Okay. All right.
Yeah.
So in that whooping, can you, Mike, then explain to me how long have you been playing fantasy football, Mike? How long have you been playing fantasy?
25 years.
I'm sorry. Say that one more time for me.
25 years.
Okay. I didn't even know fantasy had been around for 25 years. So you just schooled me. Okay. So we'll take a little pause here and explain to people why we're actually doing this whole program, right? So what we decided to do, and really why I mean my husband, and for those of you who don't know my husband, his name is Todd. We're going to ignore him for the rest of the night, really, until we start to poke fun at him and his Cleveland Browns. We'll set them aside for right now. But he decided that there would be a lot of people that wanted to play fantasy football with him. And so he said, hey, Banana, because I bruise like a banana. Hey, Banana, I want to play fantasy football with everybody in property management that wants to play fantasy with me. And so he said, create a league. And so I did. And so that's what brings us to the Keys and TDs League. And we decided we wanted to bring people in We've got 32 people in a league, and that is as many teams as there are in the NFL. So as you can imagine, this has brought with it as many problems as you encounter on a daily basis in property management. Kind of like walking into a move out inspection and discovering that it looks like somebody did not indeed move out. So, Mike, with your 25 years of fantasy football experience, what have you learned so far from the draft that we went through with 32 people, right? Let's take people to, yeah, so to speak. Fantasy football 101. What did you learn from a 32 person draft as opposed to what you're typically used to seeing with an 12, 10 person league?
It really humbled me because I don't know, the third string running back or fourth string running back. Like with 32 teams, all the players were gone in the first 3 rounds, and I'm drafting people who didn't even make the team.
Right.
Like this was before the cuts, the 55-man roster. So I'm drafting people. I have no idea who this is. I was like, I don't know who this is. And it was only 32nd to pick. So you didn't have the time like you normally do to kind of research and look at the depth chart because it was just rapid fire. So I've just learned like I just had to hope that this person made the team and that I knew enough of the third string and fourth string running backs.
Yeah. I mean, I sit around and for those of you that don't know, I have a almost 18-year-old son who played D line and listen, I will even up the score and I will throw this up on the screen. Mike is not the only one that has worn a helmet. Okay. I have put one on. I might not have spent as much time in one, but I do know what it feels like to put on a sweaty helmet. In fact, that helmet and the jersey had just been worn for like a 4-hour freshman practice. Okay. So I do know what it feels like to put that on and go out there for a mom's practice. Okay. So I sit around with him most days. We watch Pat McAfee, we watch Stephen A. I'm pausing for everybody to yell at the screen and say he sucks, his takes are whack, all of that. Okay. You did it. But I thought I knew most of the running backs, the wide receivers, the quarterbacks, the kickers. I mean, the tight ends. I mean, I really thought I could recognize their names and name them to you. But going through that draft, it was near impossible. And you've got Flowen over here who was complaining the majority of the time that he wasn't picking anybody up. And then by the end of week 1, he had Javonte Williams scoring off the charts for him.
Yeah.
So what you end up seeing is that, yes, it was tough, but then you do have surprises. So what we're kind of encountering now with our players is that we've got some that are very experienced, like you and like Phil, who have some of these players that surprised us that we picked up that we didn't think were going to be good, and then like Javonte, came out the gate swinging.
Yeah.
And then we've got some people that their players did not perform. We thought our handyman was going to go out there and maybe do even mediocre, and he scored like 6 points for me, Dak. It just it was great. And I shouldn't have picked
I
him up
thought you were
on
trying to be
tilt.
funny. I thought that was a joke.
I really was. It was fine. It's fine. I
Okay,
was just
good.
trying to scooch on right past the fact that I picked him up on tilt. It's fine. I don't want to talk about it anymore.
Okay.
There were other quarterbacks available, and I picked up that. But what can our players do now if they want to adjust? How can they trade? What can they use? We've got a free agency budget. Can they use the waiver wire? And the new players, we've got some that are new to fantasy. This is their first time playing. What can they do now? Even if you want to give them some trade picks that you've heard are good. Maybe not in the 32-person league. Maybe they're playing in another league. But what can they do now?
Use your budget wisely.
Listen, I spent I spent $18 today. We started out with a $100 free agency budget, and this might be one of those things that we reassess mid-season. I spent $18. I think Mike is talking about that $60 kicker that went out the door today. Is that what you're talking about, Mike?
I am, and yeah, that's
Mm.
$40 for the next 14 weeks. So
Yeah. So that you can
any
have a kicker.
injuries or anything, yeah. What I
Well, and
do is like
Okay.
I saw that guy, and I know that he doesn't have money. So if a good player does pop up, or somebody who's a backup ends up starting, I know I can outbid him without because he only has $40 left. I'll put
yeah,
41.
$41 and you got the
Yeah, I'll put
player. Yeah,
$41, and he's
yeah,
out of it.
yeah. Yeah, so
So
I'll add in there, Abby. One of the things that I think you really got to watch for at this point is Go Sports. Thanks, Bess.
Go Sports. Yeah,
But one of the things that I think you got to watch for is you got to watch the injuries
yeah,
because in a league this deep, what you're really watching for is the starters who go down. And you're not even going to be able to pick up the backups. There's not an
yeah.
RB
no,
two that's available. There's not a
yeah,
wide receiver two. What you got to do is go, okay, a starter went down. I'm going to pick up the RB3 that nobody's ever heard of and hope they pick up 3-4 points.
yeah.
I mean, it's one of those things where you've got to watch the injuries and stay on top of it because there are no players out there on the waiver wire. The only players that will exist are the players who come onto the waiver wire as the season goes on. Like that's the only way
Tell
you're going to
whoever
pick
that
anybody up.
was to come back. We'll say hi live on
Uh,
the air.
I didn't even see who it was. So
Okay.
for those of you who don't know, I'm actually in Florida State right now at the Florida State NARPM, and I'm at a Dutch bowling alley. We're having
Yeah.
a conference party event right now. So I cannot believe that you guys can hear anything that I'm saying whatsoever
This
because
is
it
a
is
shout out
loud
to
in
Apple.
here.
Yeah.
You can't even hear the
Yeah,
background.
that's
No.
crazy. I mean, I can't hear my own voice, and I can't believe y'all can hear me right now.
Yeah, we can't hear anything in the background.
That's
No.
amazing.
Shout out
It is
to
Abby.
our
Hey, look, it's Tanya.
Hi. She said she was going to come and try and find you.
She's
Hello.
on. She's on. What's her team name?
Tanya's not playing.
Oh, she should be.
I
Yeah.
know she should. She should.
She should be. Yeah.
She should. So, okay. So here's another question for you. So when should you stash people on that bench then? Like, and when do you think you should start them if you've got some of those good players? I might have had an extra kicker and I might have sent them somebody's way tonight as a trade proposal. Susan, I see you in the comments. So I'm going to pop her comment up here. She says, no wonder I didn't get the kicker. So,
Yeah.
that's the thing is
$60 is a pretty high price to
sometimes,
bid.
right. So sometimes you miss the
There's,
opportunity for that bid, but they come to you
ladies
in a
and
different
gentlemen,
way.
Christy Lake,
Hey,
Florida
Christy.
State NARPM president. This is Christy. She came to party. We're doing a fantasy football broadcast, and you're on it
Ask
right
Christy what
now.
her favorite NFL team is.
Who's your favorite football team in the NFL? Number one? I think
Or
that was
number two.
Chicago. She's a Bears. Yeah. Everyone knows Abby's wearing a Chicago shirt right now.
Let's go,
She
Christy.
changed it to the Giants. All right.
That's okay. Okay. One of my best friends is a Giants fan. My son out there is going to scream though. So both okay answers. Both okay answers. So Susan got kicked off. So we'll bring her back up and we'll talk about this for a second. So Susan was saying that she didn't get the kicker because there was a $60 bid for that kicker. But there are other ways to, yeah. So oh, there you go. So she got a kicker on waivers and now she's hoping that somebody got hurt. So that's one way to get a kicker. The other way is to look for somebody that has what you need. And if you've got somebody on your team in a position that they have a lack, you can trade that way. So I saw that Susan had a running back. I am not necessarily lacking in running backs, but I would like to build up the potential score on my running back side. Therefore, I offered my extra kicker, I had a backup, to Susan, and in exchange for one of her running backs. I didn't take her highest scoring running back because I'm a nice fantasy player. I like to
What
not
did
be
you say,
evil.
Mike? Did you say veto, Mike? Is that what you said?
Yeah.
I thought I heard you say veto, Mike. Kicker for an RB2. I thought I heard you say veto.
Yeah. It's a collusion.
Anyway,
Uh-huh.
so there's some collusion going on this call. So hey, Susan, hope you're doing well. I'm doing some really nice things with your game day bag. Speaking of which, I think this is a good time to talk about our sponsor. I mentioned OnSight PROS is here, but we do have a lot of really great sponsors this season. Everybody that's participating in our league is going to be getting a roster with everything that they get. And we've got a lot of sponsors this
Nice.
season. So not just OnSight PROS, but a lot of people participating. And I see a lot of them in the comments. Bess is from Second Nature. They are one of our sponsors. And if Phil doesn't stop being mean to me, I'm going to put on this commish tears button that I had made. Put that on right here. There we go. You make me cry.
I'm
There we go.
trying.
All
I'm
right.
trying.
So, Mike, I've got some serious football questions for you. Do you mind?
Uh-oh.
Can
No,
we
I don't mind.
actually kick Phil off? There we go. I want to go one-on-one. Ask. I just did it. I didn't wait for him to respond. I have control. So I just want to seriously, let's talk trade block talk. Let's talk serious football talk, okay? As a former QB, this is how New Heights does no stupid questions. Pretend that these are no stupid questions, but they might be stupid, okay? Because
Okay.
it's me. As a former QB, how do you evaluate players differently?
I think just usage. So like
Okay.
a wide receiver, I look at targets opposed to receptions. Because
Yeah.
they, if they're targeted consistently, eventually they're gonna, I actually look at the football in it. So if I know they're getting targeted early in the season, if they didn't practice together all summer or they didn't do preseason, it might be off.
So
So
somebody like a DJ Moore and a Caleb, they're kind of they're kind of a relationship, or a
their
Roman.
timing's off. Yes.
Yes, that kind of stuff. You look at that when you see them playing together and you're like, I like the chemistry between these players.
Yes.
I like the way that he's targeting him in these kind of situations, and I'm going to go for that.
Yes.
Okay. Or Josh and James were on fire the other night in the second half, just
Yes. They just
fire,
know.
fire, fire.
It's like,
Yes.
Kelsey
Okay.
and Mahomes. They just,
Yes. They
it
know
might
each other.
seem insane, but they practice that all the time. They just have that chemistry they know.
Okay.
So I think
Okay.
that
And
just,
now,
eh,
oh, I didn't mean to cut you off. Keep going. Keep going.
no, I'm just saying, just that helps. That's the way I look at it. I'm like, oh, okay, eventually they're going to work out. The first 2 weeks might be slow. And then just like Dak is going to eventually have a great season.
Right.
He's just
It's
got a
just a
bunch of new
matter of,
weapons and he was hurt all last season. So, that
yeah.
timing of playing football takes a while
Yeah.
to get back into it.
Maybe not this
So
season, but
don't,
he's my handyman.
yeah. So don't panic. Don't panic.
I'm not. And that's one thing actually is we'll get into is when is it time to panic? Is it, week one? Is it two? Is it six? When do you really start to shift it? And I don't think week one is the time that you really start to change up the lineup majorly. Maybe,
Yeah.
and I learned this last year because in one of my fantasy leagues last year, I did. Week one, I panicked. I lost and I changed a crap ton of my lineup. And then the next week I lost again. And I realized that if I had just adjusted maybe one or two players,
Right.
it wouldn't have been the same. And this is something I've been talking about in our articles on Mondays, is that this is that Kaizen. It's a fancy corporate term, right? Toyota used it, but really it just means continuous improvements. You don't have to change everything all at once. You just change one thing, see how that change impacts a process. And if
Hmm.
it impacts it in a good way, then great, you keep that. And if it impacts it in a negative way, then, oh, okay, you change that. So I think that's a positive way to look at fantasy too. And I might not
You know
be the
what's
best fantasy player. I'm not playing for 25 years, but it
all
was
right?
kind of like I was talking to a girlfriend who's just playing for the first time, and she went to school with me for the same degree. And
Wow.
I said, Liz, I'm using Kaizen for my football team. And she goes, that's actually really smart. And I said, yeah, the first year I learned bye weeks. Second year, I learned how to, and I was doing it with recognizing numbers. I was like, yeah, I've got 2 2s or 2 6s. I need 2 5s. I can't have any more 11s on my team. And that's how I was thinking in my head. I don't
Yeah.
care about the team name. When I'm drafting, all I see is 8s and 5s and 11s and 6s.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's it. So
And I'm
you
glad
co-
you were able to tie that into property management. Like I've
yeah,
told teachers since middle school that everything could be related to football.
everything.
And you just,
It's
yeah,
all football.
yeah, it's everything. Life is football.
All of life is all football. And
Yeah.
even with OnSight pros, right? So, we're talking about earlier, like the 32 player league and how we rushed in and we don't know what running backs and we're drafting people and all of that kind of stuff. This applies to the vendors that you use. Okay. And this was not planned. I would literally share my screen and show people the very loose script that we're way off of. People, listen, we are so far off of the questions that I have for Mike. The next one I want to talk to him about, because my son played D-line, so I want to get his opinion on this. Okay. So this
That's
is
my
a
heart.
selfish next question. But
Yeah.
after this, but this is what I was thinking about when you guys were talking about when we were talking about this. You rush out a lot of the time, or a property management company owner tends to, when they start a company or when they're new in property management, it's very easy to rush out and say, I need this vendor, I need this, I need a painting vendor, I need a carpet vendor, I need a roofer, I need this, I need all of these things, right? I need an inspection vendor, I need to do this and that. And oftentimes it's like 5 or 6 years in before they find a NARPM,
Mhm.
right? Before they're able to connect with a good organization
Yeah.
that then connects them with property managers. But when then you connect with an OnSight pros or with other NARPM vendors, or other vendors that are doing it the right way, like an OnSight pros who's been in that community or with other vendors like that for so long, then you stop making those rash decisions,
Yeah.
because you stop and you start to consult your other coaches, right? Like you're talking to a strategy coach or a scouting coach, right? And you guys almost become that scouting coach for people, because you're doing these property reports, right?
Yeah.
And you say, hey, let's stop using these inspection terminology, and
Yeah.
we start looking at, right? Because I use the inspection terminology for what we need to accomplish, but what
Right.
OnSight pros does is a property report.
Condition report. Yeah.
Yep, exactly. I don't use the right terminology. I don't work there. You do.
Yeah.
See?
Yes.
See
It's
how I
funny. Like,
paused for the camera like that?
yeah, you
Hey.
did. That's good. I like the hat.
So, oh yeah, I pulled this out because I knew Phil was going to be bringing that orange, and I wanted to make sure you guys got that promo, but I was not going to let that orange get away. Now, speaking of the orange, and I am a Kentucky fan, one thing we are strong on at Kentucky is defense.
Yes.
One thing we're not strong on is the offense. Okay, listen, we're not. Okay, I
It's Mark
won't.
Stoops. Yeah.
Yeah, it is. It is Mark Stoops.
Yeah.
Okay, I don't know what he is doing. Shout out to Jen Stoops, my friend. She knows football, Buffalo Bills fan. Mark
Mm,
Stoops at Kentucky does not know what he's doing with coaching. But since you do coach and you coach D lines,
yes.
do you respect now more like being in the trenches than being a skill guy, since you kind of grew up on the other side?
Absolutely.
Hmm.
I have completely
How has that
turned.
shift? Yeah. How's that
Yeah. Like,
shift been?
it's good, but like, common people, like, they're like, oh, you're just being, you're
Yeah.
being biased. I'm like, no,
Yeah.
nothing works without D line or O line. You
Yeah.
have a good O line. I mean, the Eagles,
Yeah. Exactly.
they had amazing O line and D line. They destroyed everyone.
Yeah.
Like the
And I
Super
think I'm
Bowl last year, I was
biased.
at a Chiefs party.
Yeah.
There's 100 people there, 80 of them are Chief fans. And I watched the first play on the Chiefs offense. and the
Mhm.
D line pushed the Chiefs offense line so far back in the backfield. I looked at my friend. It's going to be a long night. First play of the game. And
Yeah.
he was like, "It's too early." I was like, "No." I was like, "Those are professional football. They should not be getting pushed back like that.
No.
Definitely not in the
No.
Super Bowl."
No. Well, and I mean, listen, I think I'm biased because, like I said, defensive end,
Yeah,
around the defensive players all the time. So I think I tend to, respect that position. And then, of course, when I did go to that mom's practice, and listen, I'm not going to leave you guys hanging. I've got another picture. Okay. This is mom's practice once
yes,
again. Okay. This was afterwards. Okay. You see that red face? We did it.
I
We
like
did
that.
that.
Yeah,
Shelly and I did that. Okay. But after going through that, I respected it even more because I was like, holy moly, this is hard.
yeah,
This is insanely hard. Not only are you going out there, but you're doing this for like 4 hours.
yeah.
And
It's hot. It's
it's
the
hot,
pads.
it's
Yeah,
hard, it hurts. You're playing through pain, you're inflicting pain,
yeah,
and you get up and you do it again, and you do it again, and you do it harder and harder
yeah.
and harder, and again.
Yes,
And you do it mad, and you do it when you're sick. And there were days, and I think this is one of the times where I learned to have so much more respect for my son. There were days where I saw him and his friends over there over the bucket throwing up. And this is all of the players,
mm,
right? But
yeah,
over that bucket, that trash can throwing up and still getting out there and rallying. And I was like, that's an athlete. That is somebody to respect. That is just,
that, that's a
that's
teammate.
something. Yeah.
Yeah,
And then they just get done and then they go out there and they cheer the rest of their squad on and then they
yep,
move down the field with them.
yeah.
It's just something. So do you think there's a different way that you draft your, obviously everybody's different, right? But how has
Yeah.
it evolved from the last 25 years to now in terms of how you draft your fantasy team
Oh,
as a fan, right? So I am still learning, and this was what I was telling my friend Liz this week, still learning not to gamble and bet against myself as a Bears fan. Okay. So
yes.
this week I ended up putting DJ Moore in one of my leagues. I put DJ Moore on active, and I still had the Minnesota Vikings as my defense.
Yeah.
Horrible move. Horrible move in retrospect, though, because I
Yeah.
had time. This was not the 32 player league. I had
Oh,
time to
okay.
pick up somebody else. Okay.
Yeah.
So I had time to not bet against myself, right?
Yeah.
Because if defense pops off, wide receiver is not going to pop. Like one of two things can't be like they
Yeah.
both
You
can't be
can't.
true at the same time.
Yes.
So, how have you learned to help to combat that over time and to like help to fix your fandom?
So growing up a 49ers fan, when I first started, you couldn't draft 49ers because we were not good from like,
Yeah.
98 to 2010. So I never got attached to that. And then now, like, I don't draft Christian McCaffrey because he gets hurt every year. I
Every year, bro.
Yes. Yeah. And I'm not a big Purdy fan. So like it's easy for me. But I know people who draft all the players. Oh, like you're too attached at that point.
Yeah.
It's hard to like, yeah. I
You
mean,
just
for the
kind of
40, being a 49er fan is easy. But if I
let's
was an
let's
Eagles
bring
fan or Chiefs fan,
yeah. I see Phil is back. Let's bring Phil up for this question. How do you, I mean, obviously Peyton Manning is gone now. Okay. So this is easier now that he is gone. But how do you separate yourself from your fandom when you are drafting for your fantasy team? You're muted, so you'll have to unmute yourself because I know you were having some conversations with the crowd. OnSight PROS is actually sponsoring the party that Phil is at, so we had to allow him to step away and to be the crowd person that he is.
Yeah.
and I just
So
left. I was there too. I just walked to my
Oh
hotel
no, Mike, yeah, Mike fully
yeah,
left to be the star of this
room.
show.
Mike
Yeah,
Mike is more committed to this than
yes,
I
Yeah.
am.
we
He,
should
he was
say
like, man, I got to go
Mike
to a
fully,
quiet place.
yeah.
Yeah. No, the answer to that, Abby, is simple. I don't. I wear my fandom on my sleeve, and I ride or die. and I'll probably die. But I mean, Juwan Jennings, I mean, like that's probably not a value. I don't think I even got him. I was trying to draft him. Somebody got him out from under me, but like no, I ride with it. I roll with it. And you're holding up that Kentucky. I want to go back. You guys kicked me out of this conversation, and there were so many things you talked about that I didn't get a chance to respond to.
Would you like
Um,
to, okay, would you like to have your moment? Hold on. You know what I will do? I will just do this. Hold on.
mm, mm. Yeah. So I just want to tell everybody, Abby was making a cogent point about, hey, there's one thing that Kentucky is not good at. And I want to be clear, it's not offense. It's football. That is the thing that Kentucky is not good at. It is football, the game, the sport, the concept. Football is the thing that Kentucky is not good at. So I've been waiting to elaborate on that for a long time. So I appreciate you giving me the platform. Um, and I appreciate, I mean, I enjoy your Kentucky fandom because it has led to some satisfying wagers between us. So I just wanted to put that out there. But no, I don't separate. I mean, man, when I played fantasy football back when Peyton was in the game, I drafted him every year I could. I mean, the guy was like rolling out there on a walker, and I'm still drafting Peyton Manning. So I don't. I roll with the team that I find the fun, and I feel like I can cheer for them and enjoy watching them play. And that's how I roll in fantasy football. I usually don't roll very far.
Did you enjoy having your platform, friend?
Yeah, no, that was good. I appreciated that. I
That
appreciated
was that
that.
was fun. I'm gonna bring
Yeah.
Mike back because, he did sacrifice his night for this. So,
Yeah. And I'm not even
um,
going to disagree with you about basketball. Like,
no, I
it's
know,
a heck
I
of a
know.
basketball school. I
Thank
can't
you.
argue with that. Yeah.
Thank you. The Pope. We got hope in the Pope.
Up
We
to the
got
Pope.
hope in the Pope.
Yeah.
I did switch, by the way. I will say this. Monday night for the game, I had been wearing a different Bears shirt all day, and I switched to my Dub Burbs shirt since they were doing
Wow.
all the Dub Pope stuff that night.
Yeah.
I was like, I gotta roll with all the duh stuff. Because I am from all of the burbs of Chicago. I lived in Highland Park, Naperville, I mean, all of them. So let's go, now that we've got Phil back, let's do a little bit of a draft room debrief.
Mm.
I've got, you know, we've got all of the different divisions, let me just pull up. It was really chaos,
Yes.
to be honest. But um and I but which team do you think got the biggest steal
Mm.
in terms of pick? And I don't want to hear from Mr. I got Aaron Rodgers over there because that definitely was not it. So
Was it not? Did you
I
watch
don't
each
I
one?
don't
Okay.
I don't think so. Honestly, I think Javante was a better steal
Yeah,
than Aaron Rodgers was. Like, because I feel
that
like
was a
Javante just
steal.
showed up and just showed off, and we had no idea that was going to happen.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was a steal.
So that would be steal number one would be Javante,
Mm.
and we're talking about Javante Williams for
Yes.
people that don't know who we're talking about. Um, Aaron Rodgers, go ahead. I mean, that one was hanging around for a while, and you did pick him up pretty late. I mean, I wouldn't set that one aside as not a steal. He's not an underperformer.
No,
Do we want to talk about me picking up Dak as a
all I'm going to say about Aaron Rodgers is he did not want the ridicule that I received on
no?
draft night. He proved himself. He acquitted himself quite well. But he wasn't a steal. That wasn't a steal. Um, I mean, I don't know how you evaluate a steal in this league. I don't know because like I mean honestly, by like the fifth round, we're drafting players I've never heard of. you know,
So
and
I
so I don't
think,
know.
yeah, I think maybe what we can look at is some of the people that we think are going to be takeoffs, right? Who's going to come out in this next week or two that are going to take off. I know one person that I have been watching for years, and I'm not afraid to admit that it was because I started watching his wife on TikTok, is Jawan Johnson on the New Orleans Saints. So he is a tight end. He has been there, I want to say 3 or 4 seasons, maybe 5 now with the Saints.
Yeah, it's been a
And
while. Yeah.
yeah, he has strongly, like the last couple of years, had a couple of good seasons with them. This year, I think he came out with like 7 or 8 points in sleeper. I don't know what it is across the other platforms. Can't remember his specific performance. This is where my son does so much better with me. I just remember the essence of people's performance and their names. But here's one of the things that I like about him. I look at the way that people live their lives in relation to how they do their jobs as well, right? He has a great foundation at home. He's got a great family life. He really separates when he goes into work, he goes in to do work. He
Mm.
doesn't complicate that with at home. His wife takes, she like respects his time on the field. She doesn't try and, does that make sense? Like she's not trying to complicate that during this. He's not trying to become a TikTok star himself, even though his wife is an
Is this a shot at
influencer.
Travis Kelsey? Is that what?
It is a dig at Travis Kelsey. Yes, it is.
Yeah,
It
I felt like
absolutely is.
that was what was happening right
Also,
now.
It did
but
seem
not
like
just Travis Kelsey. There's a lot of other athletes that let their influencer wives take over and they try to become an influencer. And he
mm,
has stayed clear out of that for the last 4 or 5 years. So it's not just a trend. And I think now he's seeing his career in the NFL take off, and I don't know. I think he's one to watch. And sometimes my predictions from TikTok come true, so I'm just gonna throw that out there.
they have some quarterback issues in New Orleans, so I would be a little worried about that. But he is a good tight end.
Yeah, that is a very good thing to
Like
point out.
Spencer Rattler. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yikes.
I mean we've got such a small sample to work with so far with just one week that it's hard to say boom or bust too much. I mean, you can judge by week one, but
Yes.
like it's hard to say. I mean, I think the easier question to answer is who are the losers? Like I'm looking at the draft and I'm seeing, you know, Anthony Richardson in like the fourth, fifth round. I'm seeing people starting to take pickers in the fifth round.
Yeah.
You know, Dave in Denver took Cameron Dicker in round five. Like
Yeah, and there were
that's
people
bold.
that were left. There were people left without kickers. There were people that
I didn't
didn't that
I didn't have
just
a
ended up
defense
taking. Yeah.
because of Phil. Phil drafted like three.
I drafted
What
two.
was that, Phil?
So here's why I did that.
It's
Somebody else
strategy.
drafted three defenses.
Yeah.
Hmm.
I drafted two defenses because here's why. I figured we're in a 32 team league. Defense is the only position on the field that there is not a backup. There are literally only 32 defenses. So I drafted an additional defense because I thought when I need it, I'm going to be able to trade that for somebody because somebody is getting 0 points from their defense every single week. And
Yeah.
they're going to get tired of that. And they're going to take a defense from me and they're going to give me something that I want. So was it kind of a quick move?
It's just
It
strategy.
was. It
Yeah.
was.
Like I
But
don't have a backup, so and most people don't have a backup. So there's gonna be a week where I get a donut.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
I already had to make a trade before the season for a terrible defense. Sorry to Todd, but I have
Don't be
the
sorry
Browns
to
defense.
him.
Yeah, the Browns
Scooch.
defense. Yeah,
There's nothing to be sorry to him about. He's been a Browns fan his entire life. He knows what he
yeah,
signed up for.
yeah. It's tough for him.
Well, what the Browns do well though.
Um,
They bark.
Hold on.
They do bark
Sorry,
well.
I lost my train of thought. I
I'm checking to see if I can find that for you.
yeah.
Yeah,
I,
it's
Nope.
I hope this is like a Heimlich maneuver mannequin so that you
No,
could talk about how they choke well. But that's
Yeah.
because those
no,
their
I
kicker.
was not able
Um,
to find what they do well.
okay, I wasn't either. I mean, I can't think of the thing.
No.
Yeah,
Todd's actually the
but
first Browns fan I've ever met.
You can come meet his dad. Then you can
Yeah.
meet two.
it's like finding an actual Vandy fan. Like aside from
Yeah.
Andrew Smallwood, like I
Yeah.
don't know a Vandy fan. I don't
Never
know a
met one.
Vandy fan. Yeah,
Nope.
in Flacco
Flacco
we
we
trust. He
trust.
says, "Yeah, whatever,
Yeah.
man. Yeah,
Flacco's going to be
he's
good for like 4 weeks. I mean, Flacco and I are the same age.
yeah." I mean,
Ooh.
that's let's be
Hey,
honest
you
though.
know what,
That's
Mike?
Aaron Rodgers too. I mean, he's not going to
Yeah.
make it through this season.
Yeah.
I saw him today. He's moved from healthy to questionable today, and I'm like, he made it through a week before he's on the
Yeah.
questionable. Can he play next week?
I actually just had a really great idea, Mike. I need a backup QB for my team. How about we send you to the NFL Combine and see how you do?
Okay.
I
If
would draft Mike
Flacco
Williams
is
over
it,
some of the people that were available in the last round
that's
of the
what I'm
draft.
saying. If
I
Flacco
would
is
do it.
I
cutting it
might
for
have
the
been on the
Browns,
list.
if Flacco's cutting it for the Browns, then why not Mike
Why
for
not Mike Williams?
We all
so
graduated the
let's
same year.
we've gone off
Wow.
the rails, everybody. Mark
Yeah.
the time.
Yeah.
9:42. 9:42. So I think I know the answer to this, and it's probably going to be your own division. But just so everybody knows, and I'm going to throw these lovely clips up here. We've got 4 divisions in our league. We have got Revenue Rush.
Mm.
We have got Process Playmakers. We have got Automation Advantage, and we have got the Leasing Legends. Now, myself, I am a member of the Automation Advantage division. Phil, what member or what division are you a member of?
Well, I am a member. I'm trying to answer this slowly so I can look it up because I have no idea. I just knew
Do you
I
don't
played.
know? You don't know? That's
I
fine. I
don't
can tell
know.
you.
I
That's
know
I'm
I
fine.
in
I
played
can
Aaron
tell you.
Cooper in week one. I know that.
Leasing Legends.
Leasing Legends. All right.
That's what I'm in.
And Mike, what are you in?
Leasing Legends.
Oh, and
You
Phil,
put me
you're
and
in
Mike in
there?
the same division?
No.
Yeah.
I said I'm at Leasing Legends. I think we have the best
Oh,
division, though.
Oh,
3, 4, 5. 5 people won in our division.
here, I'll tell you. I'll tell you. Hold on 1 second.
1, 2,
I,
3,
I
one
4,
could have
5.
league,
checked
but
this before I came in, but I didn't.
Yeah, but
So
right
sue
now we're the
me.
best division.
Let's see. House of Flowin is in Revenue Rush with
mm,
my son. And if you're wondering where Todd is, he is in Leasing Legends with Mike Williams, so he is sure to lose. So if
mm.
anybody was worried about that, don't worry. Um, let's talk about next week's matchups because I think
Mm.
those are going to be fun. We've got some fun matches. Um, so we've got Rent Raiders against Tom Greenwood, Sunday Scaries, who was this week's overall winner.
What?
Yeah. My Phil, do you want to tell us how you feel about that?
About what?
Sunday Scaries winning the entire week?
I mean, they put up the points. Like, I look at it and go, hats off to them. I mean,
Oh, they beat
That's
them
they
by
put up the
3
Courtney.
points.
points. Yeah.
That's Courtney Parks.
I know, and
Oh, okay.
she's pretty petty, whatever. It's fine. Like I'm not mad about it. I respect her.
Okay. All
I
right, back
respect
to
her.
the matchups. I just wanted to
You're
see.
trying to bait
Then
me into saying something mean about Courtney Parks, and I think I've already done my fair share.
Oh.
I am not trying to do anything of the sort, Phil Owen.
Oh,
I'm sorry, Flowin, House of Flowin. We've got Sunday Scaries versus the Late Fee Legends. Then we've got Brand Daddy. I can't believe I have to say all of these names. Versus Ridiculous. And then we've got First and Fee versus Powerhouse Ball.
Mm.
I think, you know what, one of the most surprising ones for me was Powerhouse Ball. Richard
dude, he
really
put up
got
numbers, man.
He put out some serious numbers.
He did. He did.
And then we've got Jalen Mildew versus the Section 8ers.
That's
We've got
such a
us.
good name.
Which one? Because I'm partial to both of them.
Jalen Mildew is just such a
Yeah.
Is that Stacy?
And Jalen Mildew is actually our BDM Zach.
Okay.
And then we've got SD Sandbagger and versus Dan Campbell's Soup, who won. We should mention Dan Campbell's Soup won our best name in the league competition.
It's also a good name, yeah.
It's such a good name. That
Yeah.
is a friend of mine, Chris Stearns, who owns a property management company in the Detroit area up in Michigan. So if you're
That's
looking for a
bold.
property
Managing
manager up
properties in
there,
Detroit, Michigan. That's bold. It's bold.
yeah. And then we've got
Is
House
he a
of
Packers fan? Is that
Flowen. He is. He's not a Packers fan. Very much not. We've got House of Flowen versus Reno Monster. And we've got Crown Matriarchs versus Look What You Made Maddie Do.
Mm.
And then we've got Leggett Cooked versus Finkel is Einhorn.
Also a
That's
good
me.
name.
And
that
by
is
the
a
way,
good
Leggett,
name?
Leggett Cooked is me. And then
Okay.
Finkel is Einhorn is can't remember who that one is. We've
There was
got
some work that went into these names. Like
Yeah.
yeah.
we've got, I think the only way to say this one appropriately is Bucky's versus
Well
Waterboys
said.
Dynasty.
Y'all, it is Tim Wallace.
Oh, hold
We
on, I
can't
can't
see. Here
see.
we go.
Hey,
Tim Wallace is in the house and looking like an emo redneck. I'm not really sure.
Wow.
Yeah. You're
I
wearing
don't
an
think
emo
his
cowboy
daughter
hat,
approved
man.
that outfit. Yeah, I'm
No.
pretty sure his daughter
Yeah.
definitely did not approve that
So
outfit.
the theme of this conference is tacky tourist, which is why we're dressed as we are. And I'm not sure what he's doing to that.
Yeah, but
to
I
that
see what Mike is
whale.
wearing, and I see that Mike did not take part in that theme.
It changed.
Mike changed clothes. He
Yeah,
was 100% taking part in this theme. I just want to tell you that.
I did, yeah. I had a tacky shirt on.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yikes. Okay. All right. Back to these matchups because that is overwhelming for me. We've got moving on from an Adam Sandler movie. We've got Josh from Lula versus Dog Pound Dawn.
Names that didn't have much dog going into them. Well done, Josh. Hi, I'm Josh from Lula.
Listen, if you're thinking about branding, though, you said, hey, I am going to make sure that everybody knows who I am. And every time they see my name, they're going to think about what company I
Oh,
work
it's
for.
Josh from Lula. Yeah.
That's Josh from Lula. Do you need Lula? That's Josh from Lula. Hey, I'm on a live that's sponsored by OnSight PROS, but I'm going to get my tag in, Josh from Lula.
I'm losing friends as we speak. Like
We've got a name that sounds like you're going to Snoop Dogg's house, Rolling Fat Dowds.
Yeah, Dowds. I think that's the right pronunciation. Rolling Fat Dowds. Yeah.
But it makes me think of something else.
Oh.
Be right back. No, just kidding. I am Gridiron Man. And then we've got we're going to DC. We've got DC Lobbyists versus Your Trade Requests Are Trash. I would love to see the conversations going on between these two. It probably looks something like, a bill going to Congress and then getting denied. Like, nope, you have been rejected.
I feel like the theme song of that match is I'm just a bill.
I'm just a lonely old bear going to Capitol Hill.
I'm so glad you knew that. I'm so glad you knew that.
Then what's your conjunction function? Now I know what I'm going to rename your team to in our personal league if I beat you, friend.
I'm not in that
we'll talk
league.
about
My son is.
Oh, that's why I can name it to that, because he's a child. Conjunction function. What's your dysfunction, Ethan? So then we'll talk about that later on another episode. We're in a personal league and we rename each other when we lose.
Oh, I like that.
Cat, cat piss for the win. Versus the boy band in our group, Dak Street Boys, who does not have Dak because I
I,
do.
I do feel like that was making fun of you, though, which I approve.
I actually think he chose that before I had Dak.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
Mm.
and then we have Mike's team, Football Site Pros, versus an ode to my husband, 50 Shades of Todd, which I almost feel is a romance novel.
Yeah. Who is
So,
that?
a property manager from the West Coast, I believe.
I
Okay.
feel like their mascot should be Todd getting a hug.
Ah, you know what? That free hugs pants that I got him a long time ago.
Mm.
Those would be good. And then we've got Snowden. I do believe they are an Eagles fan
Okay.
versus another volunteer who apparently likes the booties
I see you,
and the
Megan.
tight ends.
I said I was saying that before you said about her liking the booties. I was
Yes,
saying
I
that.
do believe you said that beforehand. Your wife will
Yeah.
be pleased that you got that comment in before that. Hi, Mandy. And because she beat me last week, her heart will continue to remain blue. Because I am salty and I am the commish bish,
I
so I will
respect it.
do
Yeah.
what I want.
I respect the salt.
Is it rigged? Maybe. I don't know. But you'll never know because I'm the one that puts these graphics together. So um that's that. And that's the matchup madness. So before we, kind of get off, line for the night, I do want to kind of tie this back into management. We talked a little bit about, picking the right vendors. We did talk about how adjusting I almost fell off balance. That's because I've had too much caffeine. Um, we talked about adjusting your fantasy team
Might need to
and
take
not
some
doing,
magnesium so you can go to sleep.
I should do that. I have some upstairs before I go to
Yeah.
bed. Um,
Help wash that caffeine out of your system.
woo!
Fantasy football advice, sleeping advice. I mean, what is this program missing exactly?
Hey, okay. So just continuous improvement. Take that magnesium. That's just one little step that you guys can do in your personal life, okay? If you needed one little personal continuous improvement step in your personal life, magnesium will help with that. If you need it in your property management business, you can just start to think, like, what is one personal or property management process that always needs improvement? So in your personal work life, what is it that you are always doing that could possibly need one improvement? For me, yesterday, I turned on a new focus mode. I realized I was getting too distracted during the day with text messages. And I said, if you are not family, you don't get through to me during the day. I will check at the beginning of the day and at the end of the day. Otherwise, if you're not my husband or my son or my mom or my dad, you don't get through to me during the day. That was one personal change
I
I
feel
could
very
make.
called out by that.
Yes, Phil, you should.
Mm.
Yeah.
You should. Anyway, and then what's one property management process that you could improve? Maybe it's your leasing process. Maybe it's your property condition report process that
Cool.
needs to be, thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Maybe it's that process that needs to be improved. Maybe you've got somebody on your team that is just constantly hitting the road doing that and it's wasting their time. Maybe you're not making money from that process. You're spending too much money because your employee is boots on the ground. So maybe you need to figure out how to make money from that. And OnSight Pros can help you with that. It's just simple. It's math. Make money from property condition reports, improve your property management business. It's one small change that you guys can make. In both property management and in fantasy, ignoring problems is always going to come back to bite you in the butt. It just is. It's either going to cost you a win in fantasy or it's going to cost you a property management client in property management. It's just what's going to happen. As we move to the final whistle, I want to thank Phil and Mike, especially for coming to join me, from pulling time away from a party that they sponsored. So they're pulling double duty tonight. I appreciate Mike for taking the extra time to change his outfit, get an extra room, get quiet time. He's probably enjoying the time away from Phil, to be honest. We all know how Phil can be. It's a lot to be at a conference with Phil. He's pretty demanding. He likes a lot of attention. He
Just
likes a
ask
lot of
Gronk.
hugs. He likes a lot
Dude,
of love.
don't ask Grok. Abby, can I just tell
All
you
right.
this? Can I just tell you this? Do we have time for
Yes,
a
please.
story time
We
with
have
Phil?
time. I'm going to check for some last minute questions and all of that kind of stuff. So we've got time.
Abby, my kids were talking to Grok, and Grok literally, they asked about me and who I was. And Grok started by saying very nice things, that Phil is a very charismatic and fun guy. And then he went to say, but there's a lot more to it. There's drama that surrounds him. Phil is a guy with a big heart and a bigger mouth. I kid you not. Grok said that to my children about me, and then proceeded to say that I died on Friday and that people were mourning my death. And I said, what if I told you that I am Phil Owen and you're talking to me and I'm very much alive? And he said, no, Phil died on Friday. Who the hell are you? And my kids absolutely lost it. They're like, oh, Grok, this.
Okay, so but then do I get to pivot into a shotgun Sammy
Do it.
story?
Do it.
Because this
Oh,
is
yeah.
this is
Yeah.
Phil's kids are by far my favorite people on earth. Like some of the best people. Like number one, they all are just amazing humans with like each individual their own personalities, like just so unique. Like I don't know how he has been blessed with three just individually adorable kids like this. But you've got
Cool.
Ethan, the oldest one, that they have always called Buddy, like Buddy the
Mm.
elf, because he literally will look at something and be like, oh goodness, can you just imagine that this was there for that? And then Nora, I have always called, like I said, I was scared of her because her attitude when she's in a
He's
mood,
fierce. Yeah.
she's fierce. Like she'll literally
Yeah.
stand at the booth like, but now that she's older, I love her. But then
Yeah.
Sammy, so I was in Tennessee a couple weeks ago and a few weeks back, and I stopped by Phil's dad's farm, and it was such a nice experience. And we were going out to the pond, and on our way we stopped by the barn, and Sammy, we were going out there, and I can't even remember what it was that he called shotgun for, but he just goes, shotgun. And we were like, Sammy, that's not what you call shotgun for. I'm walking with Mandy, Phil's wife. And he goes, and oh, it was the fishing poles.
He's
Shotgun
calling
fishing
shotgun on a
poles.
fishing pole. Yeah. Yeah.
And we were like, Sammy, that's not what you think shotgun on. And he goes, shotgun anyway. And we were like, okay, shotgun on the fishing poles, Sammy. And then we're walking down to the pond and he goes, shotgun on the pond. And we're like, so now we're calling him old Sammy Shotgun. But I mean, Phil he just has the best kids. So if you guys have not met Phil Owen and you have the opportunity to meet him at a conference and he's got his children with you, or with him, you walk up and introduce yourself to him and his kids, because they will bless you with their humor and their personalities, because they are just very good
Unfortunately,
time.
Abby, if you haven't met Phil Owen, you have missed your opportunity because apparently he died on Friday. So.
Well, that is also true. So unfortunately, you can no longer meet him. He has left us. May his memory be a blessing to all that knew him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So, well, friends, I'm so happy that you got to join us, and I'm so happy that everybody that's joining us online is able to join us. And if you are joining us on the replay, I'm glad that you are able to tune in. Our next show will be I think it's on October 1st. So, but my math might be wrong. My timing might be wrong. I don't know what time it is. It's 10 o'clock at night. So who knows? Check the calendar, check our Substack. If you're not already subscribed there, it's substack.com/pmassist or pmassist.com/Substack, something like that. Look for it on Substack.
Yeah.
Cool. Good night. See you guys next time. Good luck in week 2 if you're playing fantasy, and we will see y'all later.
I see you, Rena Monster.